All right, we're on a special guest. You guys probably know him already, but the number one sales trainer in the world, and we're just going to focus on sales because I do believe that, a lot of you guys, man, to be successful as a real estate investor in general, not just wholesaling, right? But if you want to be able to get property at a discount, you need to get good at communicating, negotiating, and obviously that is sales. So I'm bringing you guys on and I'm putting on Steve Trang. And here's what we're going to do is any objections that you guys got throughout your whole entire, wholesaling or real estate investing business that you're like, man, when a seller asks me this, I don't know what to say. Well, I got the one and the only that's going to make that happen. Steve, what up, dude?
Hey, what's going on, man? Thank you for having me on. I know it's a holiday. I don't know, if you have other fun plans, so I appreciate you having me here on Memorial Day.
Steve, there's no such thing as holiday for entrepreneur or Asian.
I know it, but still want to say I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And every single one of you that's able to join us live, I appreciate you. But here's what's going on. If you just recently joined live, if you enjoy this, make sure you, smash that thumbs up. And you haven't subscribed, be sure to smash that subscribe button. But I'm bringing Steve Trang on to go over and teach you guys exactly how to dominate and how to negotiate when you get on the phone with the seller. Because some of you, man, I got to say, dude, some of you suck, dude. And if you want to be successful, you cannot try to get lucky. You got
Absolutely
to improve.
Not.
Because you need to improve your skills, right? So if you stick with the game long enough, you might get lucky once. But what you want to do, dude, is you want to improve your skill set so that way you can consistently close deals every single month. So, Steve, let's start out, man. For those that don't know who you are, a little background about who you are, man, and how you turn into a Stone Cold closer.
Well, thank you. For a lot of people that you guys are watching this, you might know me from Real Estate Disruptors. It's a podcast. We had a whole bunch of people on it. But what you might not know is before that, I was actually a crappy salesperson. I did sales for a long time, and I wasn't really, really good at it. And I had to really work on my craft more than I think most people. And I think one of the reasons why was because before sales, I was an engineer, and sales does not translate very well, right? It's a really, really messy translation. So, I got a lot of people saying I need to think about it. I need to sleep on it. Let me talk to my spouse, whatever. And then, you have them open your DocuSign, never sign anything, and then they ghost you. And that's kind of what happens if you don't have a consistent sales process. And it wasn't until a few years ago that I finally, met with a sales trainer, but more importantly, I was in a room with other salespeople that were working on their craft together, and that was how we were able to get better at sales. So what I was hoping, we charge a lot for people to come to our office, spend 2 full days, and go through the sales process. But take some time here. Just let's talk about some of the objections that your guys are getting, your audience is getting, and let's see if we can add value and help them come up with a talking track that they can watch over and over again here, so they can at least get better on their sales for those specific objections.
I love it, man. For those of you who don't know Steve, man, Steve is truly a go-giver. And I got to say, man, that I watch Steve's all the time, learn a lot from his stuff. And I'm sure you guys will be able to learn a lot from this as well. So any objection that you're getting from the seller, you're like, hey, Khang, Steve, I don't know how to overcome this. Drop it in the chat and Steve will take care of it. But Steve, let's start off, man. It's the most common one is like, I want to think about it. Mm-hmm. So how do you handle that, man?
Yeah, so I think the first thing, if you're getting, I need to think about it, there's a couple different things that are happening at the same time. The first one is the words, I need to think about it, just tells you that they're still trying to justify it. And if they're trying to justify it, that means they're not sold, right? So like when we buy things, we don't buy things because it's logical. If you look at like, a Rolex, a Lamborghini, anything expensive, right? Why do you buy it? It's not because you can justify it logically. It's because it feels good. And so you got to understand when someone says, I need to think about it, all they're saying without using the words is you haven't been able to get me to emotionally understand why I should do this. Not logically, because logic is irrelevant. People can justify anything, right? If I find something that you're interested in, you can justify it. For example, we drive Teslas, not because, it's a good logical financial decision, but because we were sold on the safety. We were sold on features and benefits. And then we justify the price because the price is basically the cost of a house, right?
Mm.
So I think that's the first thing. Second thing too is, we're not setting the proper expectations. So if you look at when you talk to a homeowner, what is usually the homeowner's expectations for the conversation? Usually it's they want a number from you. They want you to walk around the house. And then we play this game of I'll call you if I want to work with you, right? Like that's their expectations. They're collecting offers and they're going to go with the best one. That's generally what their expectations are. But what do we want to do as house buyers? We want a signed contract.
Yep.
So they want to collect offers and talk to multiple people. We want a signed contract today that we could do something with. So the problem is our expectations are so far apart, right? So and by the way, this was my biggest struggle for the longest part of my career because, again, coming from an engineering background, being a very understanding person, well, of course you need to think about it. I would need to think about it too, right? But what we have to do is just, again, reset the expectations. The way it sounds like would go something like this. I would say, hey, Khang, thank you for inviting me into your world here. Before we get into this appointment, can I just share with you how these conversations normally go?
Sure.
First, before we even begin, these conversations can sometimes be an hour, hour and a half. Is that still a good amount of time for you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
well, I appreciate that. And typically, homeowners that we worked in the past wanted to know how this process works, how much money they're going to get, and exactly when they're going to get their money. Am I missing anything at all?
Nope. That's exactly what it is. I just need to get the amount that I want, and I just don't want to be scammed.
Perfect. Don't want to get scammed. That makes total sense to me. And obviously, Khang, for me to figure out if this is a house that we're going to purchase, I will need to ask you some questions. Some of these questions may come across as personal. Will that be okay?
I mean, if it's too personal, I don't have to answer it, right?
If it's too personal, sure. If it's too personal, you won't have to answer it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, great. And at the end, naturally, one of two things will happen. Either we buy your house or we don't. And either way is okay. If the price we offer you doesn't work, or if any time you're not convinced I'm your guy, would you feel comfortable telling me no?
Yeah, I have no
Great.
problem with that.
And likewise, if we figure out at the end, this is a house that we don't intend to purchase, are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, great.
I'll sell
And
it
if it
to
does
someone
make
else.
sense, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And if it does make sense for us to work together, what that means is we're going to take everything we talk about today and we're just going to put it all in writing. Is that fair?
Okay.
All right, great. Can I just share with you my biggest fear?
Well, what's that?
You seem really nice, and some of the homeowners we talked to in the past, they were really afraid to hurt our feelings. So instead of telling us no, they told us that they needed to think about it. Can you promise me you won't do that? I promise you cannot hurt my feelings.
Sure.
Great. And if I hear anything besides a yes or a no, I'm just going to take that as a no. Fair?
Fair enough, but I can tell you right now that I don't know if I'm able to make the decision today.
You won't. You don't know. Okay. I'm curious. What has you say that? What has you saying that?
Well, I mean, like I might, I definitely want to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously I want to know what you guys can offer, and then
Sure.
I got some other investors that want to look at the property as well. So
Okay. So
I'm not gonna go with my, with my first offer.
Not gonna go with your first offer. Okay, that's fair. So you're looking to collect multiple offers.
I mean, that's what I'm planning to do.
Okay. And I'm guessing you're doing that because you're trying to get the most amount of money for your home.
Correct.
Okay. Can I share something with you?
What's that?
In all the years, Khang, that I've been buying houses, I've never been the highest. So knowing that, should we end this appointment?
Well, I mean, I still want to hear what you guys got to offer,
It's not gonna be the highest. I guess let me ask you this. Why would you be interested in my offer knowing it's not gonna be the highest?
Well, I mean, like I said,
Here's what's going to happen, Con, because if we come in the highest, I'm going to be really concerned that I missed something. And I'm going to be really, really nervous. But you know what? I had a chance. Again, we've been in business a really, really long time. And we had a chance to survey all the homeowners. And we asked them, why did they decided to go with us even though we weren't the highest? What do you suppose they said?
I don't know.
So, they said things like they liked the fact that we were really responsive, that we were buying with our money, and they were able to close exactly the day that they needed to close. But I'm not sure, any of those are important to you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, number one is getting the most I can for the property, but also two is, wife and I are planning to move within the next. I mean, we like to move in the next 30 days.
Next 30 days,
and we definitely want to work with someone that obviously, can get it done.
Of course. I guess let me ask another question. Let's just assume hypothetically you got 5 offers. And they all came in exactly at the same amount.
Okay.
How would you know which offer to go with?
I'm gonna go with the one that I feel like that's gonna close the quickest. That's gonna give me no stress, no headaches.
Okay, so it sounds like a quick close and a hassle-free transaction is important to you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if all of them comes in at the same price.
Okay. And then if we were to rank the 3, price, 30, fast close, and then hassle-free, how would you rank those 3?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like a 5 to 10,000 apart, let's just say one offer came in at 120, yours came in at 110, but then you're able to close in, I don't know, 15 days, 20 days, and the other one took 60, 90 days. I don't want to be hanging around for 60, 90 days. So
yeah, so you can see.
Yeah, so I'll take a $10,000 haircut and, go with the one that, give me the 110, but can close in 15 days or so.
Okay. So that's what we would do if we were dealing with a person that's like, yeah, I'm collecting a whole bunch of offers and see where it goes, right? Because the reality is if they have a lot of time, not a lot of time, but if they're really, really price conscious, right, we're going to have some problems here. But the other thing too is normally when we talk about price, it's after we went through the emotions, right? If we went through why you're selling. So in this role play here, I don't even know why you're selling. Right? But if I did, I'm going to really hammer it on that. Right? I might say something like, hey, Khang, I know when we were talking earlier, you indicated like, I'm sorry. So you brought up this objection. I'm sorry. After I had established the rules. So in this instance, I'm going to figure out whether I want to continue on this appointment or not. Right? Because if you're going to bring this up this early, I may not make you an offer today. I might just kind of figure out where you're at, scorch the earth, and then kind of move on.
Okay.
All right. I might say, hey, Khang, I know you're looking to get multiple offers.
Yep.
I'm not going to be able to make an offer today, but what I want you to do is just, grab a pen and paper, write down a few of these questions, and then, ask these questions of them. And then, I'll be back, and I would just try to reschedule the appointment. But I say things like, make sure they have a bank statement, make sure they have, $10,000 earnest.
Got it.
These kinds of things. Make sure the contract's not assignable. And I'm going to come back in a couple of days and I'm going to beat the best offer that can do those other things.
Got it. So Steve, so what you do is you will tell the seller basically what they should look for if they were to go with another investors. And typically the reason you do that is because so you can knock out all these wholesalers,
house buyers, whatever, man. Whoever is the best in the living room is going to win. Right. So I'm not saying we don't assign. I'm not saying we don't do $1,000 or $100 earnest. Right. It's just really who can come forward and give the best solution to the homeowner professionally. The reality is a lot of our competition may come across as kind of disorganized, and they're just going to come in and like, well, here's my offer. Well, look, Khang, I got to tell you, right? I'm looking at your house. looking at the roof, looking at the window, the carpet, the paint. Like for that reason, I can't give you the amount, right? And
Okay.
it's a very transactional conversation
Got it.
versus us working together, sitting on the same side of the table.
Okay.
So that's the difference here in our conversation.
Right. So Steve, so what you're doing that after every seller have talked to you or your team, and then if they invite another investor to the house, that seller now know that, hey, how much is the earnest money deposit here, right? Are you, hey, show me your bank statement that you have enough cash to close on this transaction.
Yep.
So
exactly
now the
right.
seller, well, and then obviously I would say majority of the wholesaler don't have that to provide. So now the seller has no options, but obviously the only option is to go with you guys, which is the one that has whatever it is, right? And then
exactly. That's exactly right.
proof. Got it.
Yeah. So we got to provide confidence, right? And they're going to get those other wholesalers when they answer these questions are not going to provide a whole lot of confidence.
Yep.
And look, what are we selling when we're buying people's houses? We're selling a solution to financial distress, but we're also selling certainty and peace of mind.
Yep.
Right? You mentioned a moment ago in that in our role play, hassle-free,
Yep.
right? or stress-free.
Yep.
Right. So we're selling convenience. We're selling certainty. We're selling speed. If we bring these up and the other wholesalers like, I don't want to do those things, that's working in our advantage because they're not providing certainty and confidence
Makes sense
to the homeowner.
Makes sense. So Steve, my question to you now is, what if you got a seller that will not drop the price? Do you guys actually make the offer, or do you guys don't make an offer? What if the whole time the seller say, make me an offer, I really don't know what I want, just make me an offer?
Okay, so let's just say, so this happens in the first few minutes, right? Because normally when they're combative, it's like the first few minutes.
Correct. Just make me an offer.
Hey, Khang, I appreciate that. So you're just looking to collect offers right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I get it. So let's pretend I make you an offer and it makes sense for you. What would be the next steps then?
Then I'm ready to sell.
Okay, so if I can give you a price exactly that matches what you're looking for, you're ready to sign a contract today.
Yep.
There's nobody that you're gonna have to run this by.
Well, I mean, I still got to talk to the wifey, but I mean, if I can agree on the price, I think that I can sold her on it.
So if you can get the price that makes sense for you, you're telling me you can close your wife?
Yes, I could. Okay.
And she's not gonna have any problems with that?
I don't think so.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Khang. So you're married. Which is awesome. I'm married as well. One of the things I tend to do a lot is I piss my wife off at odd times. Just something that happens, right?
We all do.
We all do. And so has there ever been a situation where your wife asked you to do something and then you did it and you still got in trouble?
All the time. All
the time. So I don't know. Wouldn't it make sense then maybe to have her in this conversation so we can make sure we address all her concerns? Because
I really don't want to have, I don't have time for that. She told me that she'll leave it up to me to deal with it. Once again, if I get the right price, we can agree on it. I'm sure that I can get my wife on board.
Yeah, and I respect that, what you're telling me. Can I just share with you my history?
What's that?
It's never been true.
So are you just gonna make me an offer, or are you guys not gonna make me an offer?
I mean, it sounds like if you're only collecting offers, we're not in the offer making business. I'm in the house buying business.
Well, I mean, once again, I'm not just collecting an offer, but if your price makes sense, seems like we can get this done.
Okay, if the price makes sense.
Right? Yes.
Okay. And I mean, I'm just curious, what price would that be for it to make sense for you?
Well, I don't know. Make me an offer, Steve.
We don't make offers. I'm sorry.
So Steve, so you guys would not make an offer?
Not with a combative seller. No, it'd be a waste of time.
Gotcha. So
I'll negotiate with you, right? Like if we go through this process, because look, the first 90 seconds to like 2 or 3 minutes, sellers can be kind of combative, right? And after we get past that point, now we're having a friendly conversation.
Got it.
And in that friendly conversation, they want an offer, we can start negotiating, right? But the first 3 minutes of like making an offer, I want to say, I think I bought one house ever where I answered that question. Usually it was tire kickers.
Got it. Yep.
Right. So I'd rather not make an offer and just move on and kind of play this game, test it. You saw I tested you a lot, right? Like who else is involved?
Correct.
Are you ready to sign today? If I make you an offer, will you sign today?
Correct.
Then we uncover, no, well, you got to run it by the wife.
Yep. Got it.
Yeah.
So Steve, every single time, right. And I agree with you, being in the game for like 12 years, man, every single time when a seller say, make me an offer, all they care about is that. Majority of time, that's not a motivated seller. That's not a seller that you're going to able to get a deal with. Now, so Steve, you wouldn't just throw them a super low wall offer and then just move on and then set them as a follow-up?
For what? I mean, they're not going to take any action right now.
Got it.
Right? I mean, this is just my experience. Other people's experience may differ. I see Mateo here is saying, yeah, if you do that, you're going to get hung up on. Yeah, I might get hung up on. And I am okay with being hung up on. Because I don't believe this is a real seller.
Got it.
Let's talk about mindset here, because this is where maybe some perspective may help here, right? If you're going around trying to get people to sell their house to you, it's the same thing as when you're chasing a girl. When you're chasing a girl, they're not really interested. Right? More often than not. But if we switch it here, you've got to close me. I'm yet to be convinced why I should buy your house. Right? Okay. Khang, tell me, why should I buy your house when there are literally today over 3,000 homeowners in the Phoenix market that are in foreclosure? Why should I buy your house over theirs? I have no shortage of opportunities in Phoenix, right? So if you look at I learned this from my friend Leon Johnson. I'm not trying to buy your house with my money. That's not the goal here, right? You're trying to buy my money with your house. You're trying to buy my money here. Look, I don't need to buy your house to be in business. You need to sell your house to get out of your difficult situation.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right. Steve, I love that, because that is truly a mindset shift, because a lot of wholesaler out there, that's what they're thinking, right? I'm here to buy a house. They're pushing. It's like they want that deal. They're hungry.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, right? Who's ever had a great experience going to buy a car at a car dealership?
Right.
It's not fun.
Right.
Right. And so if we're acting just like the guy at the used car lot, how many houses are we going to buy?
Got it.
But if we act like the guy at maybe the Mercedes or Lexus dealership, how many houses are we going to buy? It's a different experience, right? Like, hey, look, maybe this isn't for you. This isn't for everybody, right? If you walk in to buy an expensive watch, we see our friend Ryan Pineda. He's always buying expensive watches, right? If he goes in there and the jeweler is like, Khang, I'm not sure this is the right watch for you. I'm not sure if this is going to make sense for you.
I'll be like, how would you know?
You get, how would you know? But
right. Like how,
but you might want it more.
Correct.
Like,
because you'd be like, how would you know? Show me the watch.
Yeah. Maybe I want to buy it. Yeah.
Maybe I'll like it. Maybe I'll buy. Correct. Got it.
So if I push you away, you're like, whoa, hang on. Like, don't disqualify me yet. Right. But if I come in, Khang, look, I got the watch for you. Like, come here. Let me show you this watch. You're gonna want to buy it. Here, you ready to sign?
Yeah, and majority of the time I'd be like, dude, it's not
like, hang on. Like, I just walked in the store.
Gotcha. So Steve, even if the seller just keep on pushing, hey, I mean, just give me a number. Like, what would you guys pay for it? You wouldn't. You'd be like, hey, think about it. If you can come up with something you want,
if you're pushing me for an offer in the first 3 minutes, 5 minutes, we have not spent enough time. Like I said, in my career, how many houses I've bought in less than 15 minutes? One.
So Steve, now got you, bro. So now my question to you is, let's just say that's the case. How would you end the phone call?
Hey, Khang, it sounds to me like you're just really interested in collecting offers, that you're not ready to sell your house today. That's the statement I'm going to make, right? You're like, What do you mean? And they might get offended. Look,
right.
If they get offended, they get offended. I'm not here to make friends, right? Okay. If they get offended, they get offended, right? It's like, no, I'm not ready to, I'm not ready to do something today. Okay, great. When should I call back? And they might hang up on us. Again, I'm okay with that, because when we call them back in 30 days, it's a new call. It's a new lead, right?
Yep.
They're not going to save my number like that. Steve Trang is one SOB, right?
Right.
They get so many freaking phone calls.
Yep.
So I would just start anew in 30 days.
Got it. Okay. So,
Yeah.
for those of you, what are the objections that you have talked to seller and you'd be like, man, I keep on getting this. I don't know how to overcome it. Drop it in a chat and Steve will able to help you. So what are the tips, Steve, that you could that you can drop, man?
Well, so we talked about mindset just a moment ago, right? Like, I'm not buying your house with my money. You're buying my money with your house. I think the other thing too is we got to understand this is an emotional process. And so one thing I see happens so much, even good sales guys, even guys that are buying houses successfully, are uncomfortable with going through the emotional component of the sales process, right? Again, I need to think about it just means I'm not sold emotionally. I don't feel it inside me that I need to make a decision, right? And so we ask a lot of questions here, and we're looking for what is the problem? Why are they having that problem? How's it affecting things at home? How's it affecting them? How much money does it cost them? And how do they feel about all that? So potentially it could be if someone's foreclosure. Hey, what's going on? Tell me more about this foreclosure. Well, my hours getting cut back. Your hours getting cut back. How long has that been going on? As a matter of fact, it's been going on for some time now. Really? When's the last time your hours were cut back? Matter of fact, it was last week. Got it. Okay. How's this affecting things at home? Well, my wife is stressed. She's losing sleep. Oh, got it. How's that impacting you? Man, I'm frustrated that I can't help my wife here. She's losing sleep. You know, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Okay. What have you done to make up this lost money? Try to get another job. How'd that go? Haven't found a job yet right now. Okay. What else have you tried? I reached out to my family. Did that work? Didn't work either. Oh man. Okay. Well, what would happen if we can't help you? Man, okay, if we can't help you, it's gonna. Oh wow, you might lose this house. Okay. How do you feel about all that?
Dang,
So
okay.
you got to ask all these questions. It's the same thing. You go to a doctor's office, right? You go to a
Right.
doctor's office, like, hey, I've got some back pain. It's like, Khang, come back at 4 o'clock. We're going to operate. You were like, whoa. Hey.
I don't know if I'm ready, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, can I get an MRI? Can you ask me some questions, right?
Right.
But when we give offers without going through pain, this is exactly what's happening.
I see.
So what we want to do instead is if you got back pain, I'm going to say, hey, Khang, how long has your back pain been going on? Right? When's the last time your back hurt? What have you done to fix it? I got some ibuprofen, some Tylenol. Okay, did that work? It did for some time, but it's not working anymore. When's the last time your back hurt, Khang? Oh man, like last week I was trying to do some yard work and it just shot through my spine. Dang. Okay, what would happen if you can't fix this? I don't even want to think about it. Now I'm going to push you over to the MRI. We're going to get the x-rays. We're going to have a follow-up conversation. We're going to maybe have an operation, right? It's the same exact thing here. Would you get an operation without being emotionally convinced that you need an operation? You're not going to be like, oh, doctor says I need surgery. I'm going to get it.
Right. Got it.
Well, it's the same thing here. Why should someone sell their house for 60, 70 cents on the dollar if you haven't gone through the effort to understand what they're going through, what's keeping them up at night, how it's affecting their household, right? What they've tried to do to rectify it. If you don't ask those questions, do you even care about them? So
Gotcha.
I would say the big thing that most salespeople are afraid of is to ask those questions. This we talk about, you got to find pain. Right. And look, for many, many years in my career, a foreclosure notice was pain, a probate notice was pain, a divorce notice was pain. That's not pain. That's just an indication of pain. You've got to ask all those questions to have them feel the feelings associated with that experience. Because look, you know this, right? If someone goes to your website and fills out a form, right? If you call them right then and there, they're more likely to answer. You call them back in 5 minutes, an hour, 2 days later, are they likely to answer? No. Why not? That feeling that they had, the depths of despair, the emotions and feelings that they experienced when they fill out that web lead is gone.
Yep.
Right? That problem, that pain they felt, they're no longer feeling it. Not to say it's gone. They haven't solved the problem,
Right.
but the feelings associated with it
Mm.
are gone. And so if you want to get someone to sign a contract, you got to get them back feeling that emotional despair that they
Gotcha.
felt when they first reached out to you.
Gotcha. Steve, I got one here that I want to ask you first. So
Sure.
typically when you guys cold call, when you guys make these random cold call, what
Mhm.
is your pitch? Like, what does your pitch look like?
Sure. So I think so many people overthink a lot of the cold calling.
Yep.
I think the first 30 seconds are the most important.
Okay.
After 30 seconds, you should be able to pierce through and have a real conversation, right? So here's what it's going to sound like when I cold call. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
Hey, Khang.
Sorry, who's this?
It's Steve.
Do I know you?
Well, the reason for my call, Khang, is we noticed that, your house was on some sort of list and we were buying houses in this area, but probably caught you at a bad time.
I mean, I got a few minutes.
Oh, you do? Okay, great. And then you can have a normal conversation, right?
Damn, so it's just like that.
But you see, what did I do, right? Like, hey, Khang, you're like, who is this?
Yeah, who is this? This
Right?
is weird. Okay.
It's really weird. So we're doing pattern interrupts. Okay.
Okay.
Like pattern interrupts. Tony Robbins was really huge on this. Okay. So
Okay.
all I'm doing is I want you to stop in your tracks. You're just stopped in your tracks and you're paying attention to everything I have to say.
Got it.
So, hey, Khang, hello.
Yeah,
Right. But what do
this-
I say? Hey,
Mm.
hey, is this Khang? What do you think? What is your thought when I say, hey, is this Khang?
Someone I know calling me?
No. Is this Khang? You're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's cold caller.
Right.
It's a salesperson, right?
Right.
Is this Khang? Or
Yep.
hi, is Mr. Lee there?
Oh, yeah. When they use the word Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure it's a salesperson, right?
Correct.
So I was
for
like,
sure.
hey, Khang. Yeah. This is Steve. And when I say this is Steve, like what goes through your mind?
Do I know you? Maybe.
Yeah, like I should know this guy.
Yeah, like maybe I know him, but I don't remember.
Exactly. Right.
Got
And I
it.
said the reason for my call. And when I said the reason for my call, you notice like my tone volume went down a little bit.
Yep.
And I leaned in. Even physically, even though I'm not face to face with you, I leaned in.
Okay.
And the idea here is I'm telling you a secret.
Uh,
And I'm telling you a secret, you're going to lean in and you're going to pay attention even more.
yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then the last thing I say is probably caught you at a bad time. And the reason why we say probably caught you at a bad time is we're assuming a negative. If I say, is now a good time? No.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Right. Is now a bad
Mm.
time? I don't know. Maybe. Probably caught you at a bad time. No, I got a couple minutes. Like that's the
Yeah,
most typical response. Probably caught you at a bad time. No, I have a couple minutes.
Right.
Because people will. It's the same thing when I said you probably can't afford this watch. Like I can afford this watch.
Yeah. Got it.
Probably caught you at a bad time. No, I got a few minutes.
Right. Gotcha. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's a very different cold calling pitch that I've heard. But
Yeah.
Steve, let's move on to this one, man.
Mhm.
I want if you can read that, Steve.
Yeah. I want 600K for my house because houses in the neighborhood are going for 600K.
There you
So
go.
here's the things that I always like to ask, right? And we ask this all the time. So we do weekly sales training, okay? And we ask this question all the time. When you get the objection, I always want to know. It's kind of hard to do here on StreamYard, but here's some things I want you guys to think about. Why are they selling? Okay. Because of why they're selling generally is I want to move into a bigger home or a smaller home or the other side of town. The reality is they're not going to be a good fit for us, right? They're going to be a good fit for somebody else. They're a good fit for a realtor. Statistically, 4% of homes will sell off market. 96% of homes will sell on the market, right? So 96% of them will go with a realtor. So I'm talking to somebody and like, hey, I want 600K for my house because houses in the neighborhood are going for 600,000. Hey, I think that's great. What did the realtor say when they came out? And I'm just going to assume they went with a realtor. And the reason why I'm assuming they went with a realtor is because what I want to hear is I don't want to go with a realtor. That's what I want to hear, right? And if they say I don't want to go with a realtor, oh, you don't want to go with a realtor. Because, and I want to hear realtors suck. I don't
Yep.
want to pay commissions.
Yep.
They take too long.
Yep. They want me to do
But
the repair.
yeah, they want to make me repairs. But here's the thing, right? If I tell you, hey,
Yep.
Khang, here's why you don't want to go to realtor. They take too long. You pay a commission. You have a bunch of people walking through your house.
Now,
You're be
got
like,
it.
hey,
Hey.
look, back off, right? Like realtors
Right.
are they're professionals too.
Yep.
Right. But if I say, hey, Khang, look, what did the realtor say when they came out? You're like, I don't want to go to the realtor
Mm,
because, and you're going to say, because they charge a commission, they take too
right.
long. You say all the bad reasons, like, oh, okay. So it sounds like you're trying to get this done faster, or it sounds like you don't want to deal with any repairs.
Yep.
Then
Right.
we're going to have a further conversation like, well, you know, if you're looking to avoid repairs and looking to get this done in less than 30 days, I'm happy to help you, but I can't pay you what a realtor can get for you. I'm not sure it still makes sense for us. I'm not sure this is going to be a good fit for you and me.
Gotcha. And you want to hear something like, well, you know, I mean, I'm not, you know, if I don't have to pay commissions, I don't have to do the repairs. I'm not expecting to get, you know, obviously retail
Right.
value for the product.
And then at this point, once they've said they're willing to take less than retail, I'm booking the appointment and I got to close the other 200K down. Right.
Got it.
But, you know, a question I might ask is, hey, Khang, you know, you're telling me Zillow says your house is worth $600,000.
Yep.
Well, I guess I have kind of a question here. It might sound kind of odd.
What's that?
Why would you ever take less than fair market value and sell your house to an investor like myself?
Well, I mean, if I don't have to pay, you know, the realtor.
And again, right? So now you're closing yourself on me.
You're right.
You're closing yourself on me. I'm not closing myself on you.
Got it.
Right. So the more we push away, the more they'll come back.
Love it. So you guys, for those of you who's watching, we don't have much time, but I do know that Steve's, man, he was just telling me what he has coming out that he's given to everybody at a freaking, I say, Steve, you cannot be charging people at this price, man, because this is a no-brainer. So Steve, I know that you got some sales training program that you just recently launched, man. So for those that's interested, that wants to join, man, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So, you know, we've been doing this real estate sales training thing for some time now. I've been really fortunate. I've been able to train the best in the country. So the people that we're working with are having tremendous success. It's really cool to witness. And so we've been wanting to figure out how we can hit more people, how we can serve more people. And the best we can come up with is, what if we have a community of other salespeople also helping, right? Because like I said, I learned from my trainer, but more importantly, I learned from the other people in the room. And so we can do the same thing here, and we can have more people in the community, then maybe we can serve a lot more people. And so what we've done, so we've got a community, and part of us opening up this community is we're taking everything I've ever done, any live events that we've recorded, or our sales master class, our dispositions class, all this stuff we've ever done, and we've put it all in the library. And so, you know, people are paying us thousands and thousands of dollars for the live events. They're paying us even more for our sales master class. And we're including all of that right now for people that join our community. And so if you think about all these objections you get, right? Every objection you get is potentially $15,000 to your bottom line.
That's correct.
Right. And so if we can increase sales for a newer person, maybe 100K, for a more seasoned guy, 400 or 500K, right? We can add that much value to them as well, including all our materials. We're having our community is $97 a month.
Stop it.
Yeah, I know it's really low. I actually got chewed out by my best friend about it. Yeah, he sold his company for $80 million. And I was like, here's what I'm going to do. He's like, you're stupid.
Stop it, dude.
Yeah. But if we're trying to serve as many people as possible, I think that it'd be really cool to see the people that go through it and learn from it and apply from it. I think we can create way more millionaires, right? If we can reach more people, and only the people that are investing in themselves. Right. I mean, how much have you invested in yourself?
A lot. Not as much as Steve, but a lot.
Yeah. So I think I'm over 400K now, right? In my career that I've invested in myself.
Damn.
Like, it's not like the stuff you just wake up one day. It's like, oh, I know how to handle this objection. No,
Correct.
like you got to work on yourself over and over again. You know,
Yep.
something we didn't really talk about in the very beginning. It's like, I got multiple businesses running in parallel. Right. And so for us to be able to offer all this, I think only to those that are willing to invest themselves, I'm really excited to see where this can go. I think when I look back, I'm hoping, this is my hope, this is my vision. When I look back 5 years from now, this will be the most significant thing I've ever done. That's what excites me.
Man, Steve, all I gotta say is, dude, whatever you offer, man, it's a no-brainer, dude.
Yeah.
It's such
Thank
a
you.
no-brainer. Yep. For the value, for being in the community. Once again, you know, if you go back in time, everybody said it. The best investment, like can ever 1,000, 1,000,000x, is into yourself. Said,
100%.
right? So a lot of you, what you're doing is you're taking a baby money and you trying to get lucky. A lot of dude, I get all the time, Steve. Oh, Khang, should I put in crypto? Should I put in stock? Dude, the only place you should put it in, man, is into yourself.
Yeah, the only place you can get better than 1,000x return is you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can guarantee that, unless
100%.
unless
Well, you can guarantee
you're
it
lazy.
if you'll do the work. So here's the other thing
Correct.
too. You know, I don't think we talked about this earlier, but like if you look back at like why. So I'm a sales trainer. I'm one of a handful. There's not a lot of us. There's very few sales trainers. And why is that? Right. So why do people struggle in sales? Well, the first lie that's been told to a lot of us is that salespeople just have it. They just have this skill. That's the first lie, right? But again, I was an engineer. I was a terrible salesperson. So this is a skill that can be learned. Second, why isn't sales taught? Well, it's a lot easier to teach people or sell people marketing products, right? If I sell you this list, this CRM, this product, that product, Khang, this next strategy, this next magic pill is going to change your business. It's a lot easier to sell you more and more and more and more products than to teach you skills. Because skills you can have with you forever. And by the way, like the sales skills I learned, they help me not just on appointments. They help me when I'm dispositioning a deal, when I'm moving to a buyer. They help when I'm leading my organization. They help me communicate with my spouse, help me communicate with my kids, right? Sales is not limited to appointments. Sales applies everywhere.
So, Steve, for those that are sold on this, man, because once again, I was like, man, Steve, honestly, when Steve texted me, I was like, I don't know if I want to bring you on, dude, because you're giving us such a good price, bro. But so, Steve, how can people, for those that are ready, man, to join the community, where can they go?
Well, I sent you the link, so I think we could probably put it in the description for YouTube.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think that's probably the easiest way for them to find it, so that they don't get lost. There's typos and this and that. So I think if you post it in the URL, yep, in the description.
Got it. Now, Steve, how can people connect with you, man?
The best way to connect with me is on Instagram at steve.trang, steve.trang. That is where we are most responsive. So Instagram, and then if you want to find out, more about what we do with real estate, and we have real estate disruptors. And I would highly encourage you guys really to make sure you follow me, because I'm going back in the living room to run appointments. Right. So we're going to be posting content around that. So keep an eye out. I got my first appointment at some time tomorrow. My team's challenging me. They're like, Steve, we think you might have lost it. I was like, I'm going to show you, kids.
So you're going to go out and go on appointment now, Steve?
Oh yeah. I'm going on appointments.
Dude, that would be awesome content.
I'm going on appointments. I'm bringing my acquisition manager so he can see how it's done in the living room. Okay. And I'm bringing my videographer. One of our most viral videos last year was me in a living room with this older lady running an appointment. So we're going to create more content like that.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. For those of you who's watching, I'll leave the link in the descriptions, but once again, go follow Steve Trang on his Instagram. You can reach out to him on there as well. Once again, Steve Trang's, man, one of the most go-giver people that I get to meet and call him as a friend, man. So Steve, thank you so much for taking the most valuable thing ever. It's your time and being on here 40 minutes, just dropping straight up massive value, knowledge to the people, man. So Steve, thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Oh, you're very welcome. I hope everyone that listens at least takes action. And if nothing else, rewatch this a couple of times. If nothing else, rewatch this a couple of times. Use the techniques, use the scripts that we use, because it works. I can promise you it works.
But nothing work if you don't.
100%.
Steve, thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Take care, bro.
You too.
Once again, you guys, nothing work if you don't. Dreams don't work unless you do. The info's there. The choice is yours. Until next time, you guys, take care and ciao.